Yeah, you've got the Everising S4633 SA bandsaws. They come in two different variations. So I'm going to take you through both of them. There's only a small difference between the two. And I'm going to take you through the standard features on them and show you the difference. All right, so the 4633 will do 460 wide by 330 high. Now, this is our Everising brand, and these machines have been extremely popular and reliable. Now, this has an inverter for your blade speed. So what that means is electronic blade speed. You're just turning this, and that's going to change your blade speed. You come here, you've got a work light. It just sits over there, and it'll emit a light on the job. Your control panel, nice and simple. Coolant, vice clamping, frame up, on, off of the blade and on the whole system. And that knob over here, that is your descent of your blade when you're cutting. Now this is a double miter machine, can do 60 one way, 45 the other way. That over there, that is for your guide arm, both of them. So when you're cutting different sizes and different angles, this machine, you've got the ability to not only move this guide arm, but we come around here, you can move this guide arm as well. So the nice thing about that is when you are cutting an angle, both guide arms can move in, so you've got more, well, I should say you've got less flex of the blade when you're cutting. You've got a coolant system on both sides after the cut and also before the cut, and is also adjustable over here, the flow rate. Now these have carbide blade guides, plus it's a little bit difficult to see, but underneath there you've also got bearings. You can actually see it a lot better here. So your carbide guides are underneath there, and here your bearings, just to keep the blade nice and straight. Now, this is a sacrificial table. Basically, when you cut into it, you unbolt it. When it's ruined, you unbolt it and you put a new one on. That's your rear vise. Now, going around to the back of the machine, show it better. That's your rear vise system. So this is what we call a half full stroke. So you've got a limited amount of stroke there, because if you had more stroke, your vise would sit out here and then it becomes a hazard. So you've got two machine slots there, and all you do is that over there, if you want smaller diameter, you put it in that, bigger diameter, you put it in that. Now, this is a hydraulic vise. You push the button, it goes in and out, which is different to the other model, which I'll show you in a sec. That is your blade tensioning. Very simple system. When that line gets to that screw, it's tight. Over here, you've got a switch, and this connects to the blade. So if you get a blade breakage, that'll disactivate, if that's even a word, and it'll stop the machine. Over here, your bundle cutting vise, simple manual system if you're cutting bundles. And underneath there is your 1 meter front stop, that if you're cutting multiple pieces of the same length, you set that up in the front and you just move it in and out. Hydraulic cylinder for your up and down, and those two switches that you see there, that is for your upstroke and downstroke limits, so that's adjustable as well. So if you are doing smaller diameters and you don't want the frame always going up to full position, you can just adjust that, so it takes less time to bring it down and cut. Motor. Now, blade covers have interlock switches for safety, so when they're open, the machine won't run. And that in there is your coolant system. Angle, and that's where your front stop sits. And that guide wire over there, that's just for this entire structure, because that will move back and forth depending on what angle that you're cutting, so the blade's not cutting into the vise. Now, this is the same machine, but the model below it. Now, there's only two differences. One being it doesn't have electronic blade speed. So when you actually go and you want to change the speed, it's simply done changing a bolt on the pulley. And that over there is the different speeds that you can get. So there's 4 speeds, whereas the other one is infinitely variable because it is electronic. And then the other feature that's different is your actual clamping. So the other machine is half full stroke. This is called rack and pull. So here, your vise has got a rack and pull. See if I can lift this up. Yep. So what you do is you lift that up. You'll just pull it that way, depending on the size that you want to do, or push it up against the job. And then you flick the switch, because it's still hydraulic. You can see the hydraulic cylinder there. And it'll clamp up against the job. So essentially those are the only two differences on these machines. And that's the Everising S 4633 SA bandsaws.